Okay, we're going to start again. We started without recording, so that's my fault. So I'm Dr. Melanie Beingessner. I'm a chiropractor here in town. I have Blessingways Clinic, and I am a more focused towards pregnancy and pediatric chiropractor. But I'm also a certified instructor with the International Association of Infant Massage. So my children are 24, 20, and 17. And I have been, when they were little, I massaged them just about every day for the first year of their life. So I was given a gift when my son was a baby. My mom's friend was visiting and she was learning how to do infant massage or to teach it. And she asked if she could teach me how to massage my baby. And of course I said yes. And it was one of the nicest gifts that anyone had ever given me because all three of my children, we massaged them pretty much every day for the first year of life. And there are a lot of benefits for that. In the one sheet that you can print off, the one that has the baby on there, it goes through the benefits that are both for the baby and for the person giving the massage. So there are benefits both ways. The babies do digest their food better, they sleep better, they're calmer, and there's a little bit more of a bonding process that happens with the person that's giving the massage. If you are ready to start, we're going to chat just a little bit before we get going. I've never done a Zoom call with a doll before, and a Zoom call. We've done it at the library. Every once in a while, they'll invite me, and I love to come and teach the moms in person. So if you're having any questions or something comes up, you can put the comments in, and Eric will let me know if there's something that you need me to either slow down on or to explain a little bit better. If you have printed off your massage sheet with the strokes, and you can possibly, you don't have to do it today, of course, but print it into a plastic sleeve page protector. Your hands do get oily, and it's nice to have the plastic there, and it doesn't ruin the paper so much. We'll be going off the stroke sheet. If you don't have one, that's fine. I will be talking about the strokes anyway, and with the recording, it will go on the library website and also on the Blessingways website, so you can refer to this if you need to see something again. And for all those of you in Airdrie, you can certainly call me at Blessingways if you have any questions. So if you have a really new baby, like a month old, you kind of want to wait until the babies are really relaxed. So when babies are first born, they're very, very tight. They hold themselves very, very tight. And then as they, about 2 months in, you'll see them more relaxed and more rubbery. And that's the phase that you want the babies to be in before you really start massaging them. If they're very, very tight, and they won't respond well to the extra stimulation, but around 2 months is when the babies can really accept the massage and build up on that. So to set the scene where you would actually massage your baby, in the Canadian winter and sometimes in the mornings, the rooms can be a little cold, and the babies will have naked skin, plus the oil on there can make things a little bit cooler for them. So some people will put a little heater, little storage heater close to where they're going to massage the baby. Some people will turn up the heat in the room just a couple minutes before. It's just if it's really cold, the baby won't relax for the massage so well. And in the summer, of course, everything goes. Normally for the rule is we massage babies on the floor because you just don't want to take a chance of having a baby fall off a table when you're reaching for oil or something like that. If you have overhead lights, I was going to show you about it. It's just a little hard with the computer. The lights get behind your head, and the babies have a hard time focusing on your face. So if you can turn off the overhead lights and just put the side lighting on, or open the windows or that sort of thing, the babies can focus on your face a little bit better and see you, which is really nice for the bonding process there. And if you have anything outside in the room, like a radio or television or something like that, just turn it off. The sound stimulation is a lot for newborns, and it interferes a little bit with the touch stimulation. So if you have a quieter room, it makes life easier for you and for the baby as well. As you get used to massaging a baby, they'll stay with you longer. So in the beginning, sometimes even just getting through both legs, the baby's had enough. So one of the rules is that we don't massage an angry baby. So if you were angry, you wouldn't want someone massaging you. Same thing for a baby. And how you can tell a baby is really interested in what you have to do is that they look you in the eyes. They're there, they're present. If they start to fuss or they start to turn away and look away, that's your cue that the baby's had enough. And as you do this over and over again, the baby will actually stay with you longer, and eventually they'll stay with the whole massage. And when my children were little, with just the sound of putting the oil on your hands, they would get so excited. They would like, oh, like you can literally see it on the baby's faces. And it's pretty awesome, actually. So in the beginning, you might only get through a leg or two or up through the belly. And then we do the arms and the head. So if you pick the same time of day, it becomes part of your routine. So some moms really like first time in the morning. Some moms, what our routine was is we would have supper and then we would have a bath and then we would massage the baby and then feed the baby and put the baby to bed. And what I liked about that was that the baby's skin was clean and warm, and the oil was really nice to put on there. And the other part is it just helped them be a little bit more relaxed to go into sleep. So it was a really nice thing for us to do it that way, but whatever works for you and your baby, there's no wrong time of day. But if you choose the same time of day every day, then it just becomes part of your routine and the babies really start to look forward to that. The pressure, this one's a little harder to do over Zoom because in the class I could go and actually show, but you don't want to have a light pressure where you're just on the skin and it's really, really light. It's more tickly and you don't want it really, really hard because you don't want to hurt the baby. But if you think of a firm handshake and kind of go with that, just slightly firm, and with this oil on your skin, your hand will slide over the baby's skin a little easier. And of course, you're going to take cues from the baby. But babies are not made of glass. And so most moms will make the mistake of going a little too light, but as you improve your strokes and get used to it, you'll actually find the tension of your hand with the squeezing that feels really nice. And it should just feel kind of like soft, like you're kneading dough almost, if anybody has been making bread lately in this COVID world. If you're both really liking a certain stroke, stay there. There's no rules about how many strokes you do in each stage. And as you find that the babies will hold with you longer, you can stay longer in the stroke, but you'll get to know which ones your babies really like, and you'll get to know which ones they don't necessarily like as much. And those ones you can just simply drop off the routine or do them not as many times. You can also make up strokes as you get to know what you're doing. If you find that this is something that's really fun to do, then add it in. It's certainly, this is just a guideline for you. And then another thing is that only one person should massage a baby at a time. So if later on you're getting into the massage and your partner or your mother-in-law or your mom eventually in this COVID world want to learn how, you just show them the strokes the first time round, and then you let them try on the baby and you show on a doll like I'm doing now, or a teddy bear or something like that, and you can show them the strokes as they do it beside you. And it's a really nice gift to give someone else in the baby's life to learn how to do that. If you have older siblings, I'd say 10 years and above, you can actually teach them how to massage the baby with you right beside, and it gives them a chance to do something nice for the baby as well. It's totally up to you in your life how you would like to do that. So if you're ready to go and you want to start, the oil itself is something that you would put in your own mouth. So Johnson's baby oil is not a good solution for infant massage. It's a petroleum product. And the babies will put their feet and their hands in their mouth. They'll chew on their skin. And so you want something on their skin that could actually be eaten so that there's no harm if the baby is getting a little bit of oil in his or her mouth. So this is what we have at what I have for my infant massage is, this is grapeseed. I got it at Nutter's here in Airdrie. I freeze them in between sessions. So there's no chance of what's called oxidation. So the container of this is clear. And so a clear container with oil, if it's set in the sunlight, can actually oxidize the oil and make it rancid. So if you're choosing oil, you can just go into a health food store or a grocery store and you look for an oil that is in a green bottle, smaller one. This is grapeseed. You can get sweet almond. You can use avocado or canola or whatever, coconut oil. And then you can choose the quality of the oil. So some have, non-GMO and others are more cold pressed, and there's all different kinds of oils that you can use. You just choose whichever one that you think would be nice. And if you like the smell and you like the feel on the skin, then keep with that one. And then if you can buy them in the green bottles, it's a little bit better. And you just put the oil in a dry, cool place, not in the sunlight is the point. And then if you have a smaller bottle, then you just keep refilling it so that it's fresher oil. And then you keep that oil in the fridge, the reserve oil in the fridge. And then the quality of the oil is the best for the baby. So if you're ready to start, we're going to go nice and slow as best I can because I don't have the babies in front of me. You're going to want to strip down your baby. You can leave the diaper on, especially with little boys. You tend to get peed on if you take the diaper off. But I mean, truly, if you want to do total naked massage, that's up to you. I have a doll, of course, and so I'll just take the clothes off my doll as best I can. Of course, I don't have skin on the torso of my doll, but it's the best that I can do to show you. So, and then when you start off with oil, you're going to put about the size of a quarter in your hand. If it's a very small baby, maybe the size of a nickel or a dime, and you can keep replenishing on your hands. Newborns, you probably don't want scented oils like lavender oil or, hand lotion. But as the babies are older, you're kind of getting into the point where hand lotion would be fine. But basically, oil is a good thing. So I think I see some naked babies from the pictures that I can see. We'll just get started and just join in as best you can. So just going to bring my stroke sheet out just so that I can read it just a little bit easier for you. So the lady that started infant massage was Vimala Schneider McClure, and she started the International Association of Infant Massage. And she married a whole bunch of different massage strokes together. So the first thing we're going to do with my baby, I guess that will work. Yes. Okay. So we start with legs and feet, partly because babies are very used to being held, being touched with legs and feet for diaper changes. And it's a very comfortable position for the parents and the baby to have. So you just put a little bit of oil on your hands and rub it all over. And then you just with one foot. So we're only going to do one foot and one leg in our massage. When you're doing regular massage, you do one side and then the other, but we're only going to show one. So you hold the baby's foot up, and then with your hand like a V, you're going to come right in where the leg meets into the hip. And you're going to squeeze and come all the way up to the foot. And then you're going to change and squeeze and come up. So the strokes are very slow. And this feels really weird because for me, I would be looking in the baby's face, but I'm kind of looking at you. So this kind of feels a little bit strange to me, but it doesn't matter. So we're just squeezing and coming up and squeezing and coming up. So this one is called up the leg. And you're going to alternate as best you can and go nice and slow. And again, if you're really happy in this stroke, you stay there. And as you're learning and the baby is learning, it becomes really quite comfortable. And then with the leg twist, it's kind of like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth from the bottom, and then come down again, back and forth. This is kind of awkward with my little plastic leg, but I'm doing the best I can here, back and forth like this. And then we're going to go onto the foot. So with the foot, you're going to take your thumb and you're going to, so obviously babies don't bend this way, but you're going to put your thumb on the heel of the foot and you're going to stroke up to the toes and then heel into, so it's kind of one thumb and then the other thumb. This one is nice and firm and deep. Babies will be ticklish just like people will. So just nice and slow. And then again, if it's really comfortable, you stay there. If it's not, you move on. So this is really hard to gauge because we're doing this with Zoom. But as the baby will accept the the strokes, then you just keep going with them. Now you're just going to play and roll with each toe. You can play 5 little piggies. Sorry, you can't see it so well in the video, but you're just going to roll each toe with your finger, and you can play 5 little piggies, however you want to play with that. And then for the clockwise feet, so I'm going to actually turn my baby around so you can see. Now, I believe this is clockwise here. So you're going to come right at the pad of the foot, not necessarily up where the toes are, but the pad of the foot, and you're just going to come around in a clockwise motion. So this really is a great thing to help improve bowel movements for babies, especially if you're introducing solids into the baby's diet. A lot of times babies can become constipated. And so this slow pressure really helps, especially if you need to have a bowel movement. So our story was we were on our way on a flight from Toronto to Calgary, and my son hadn't pooped in 3 days. And of course, we didn't want that to happen on the plane. So for about 10, 15 minutes, I just was playing with his feet. He had pajamas on, so I didn't have to worry about oil in that. And we got a nice, great bowel movement just before we had to leave the hotel. So it all worked really well. If you're finding that your baby is constipated, that's something to remember to do. And you just do it with diaper changes, just nice and on both feet. You can do both feet at the same time, actually. And then, so then ankle circles around the ankle, especially if you have a baby that's crawling. A lot of babies have, you know, they would really nice to have some circles. You can grab both, and just finding it awkward here on the video, but you just grab the ankle and you're doing the nice single strokes down there. Okay, and then down the leg. So my baby's turned sideways just so it's easier for you to see. And you're just going to hold the foot, and we're just actually going to do opposite of what we did the first stroke, from the heel down. So this is going to bring the blood supply back to the heart, and it's a nice one to end with. So you're just going to keep stroking down. And then in the end, you're just going to roll out the tension, just kind of like a rolling pin, just back and forth. And then after you've done the one leg, you would start on the second leg, and you would do both the same, exactly the same as we have done, in the same order. And then when you're ready, you go on to the abdomen. So for the abdomen is the rib cage down. So you can feel on your baby where the ribs are. And so basically the rule of thumb is you're just going around the belly button. Of course, my doll doesn't have a belly button, but you can just about an inch or two around the belly button. So as the baby is looking at you, now, okay, let me see if I can do this here. You're going to use the edge of your hand. So you're going to put a little bit more oil on your hand, and you can actually put the oil on the baby's belly. You might want to loosen the diaper a little bit just to get down a little bit above the pubic bone there. And you're just going to put your hand just underneath the rib cage, because we don't want to slide our hands off the rib cage. It hurts the baby. You're just going to stroke down towards the pubic bone and then down towards the pubic bone. So you're just going to use your hands. Now this one is hard to describe, but in a baby's tummy, you can actually put your hand in about an inch, and it's not going to hurt the baby. Of course, you're going to be looking to see if the baby's flinching. But there's a lot of space in the abdomen, and it's not like a muscle on a leg. And so just even with us, we can push our own tummies in about 2 inches and not feel any pain. Same thing for the babies. So you're coming in about an inch, and you're watching the baby's face to see that they're not flinching. You're just stroking downwards. Okay. Across the belly, if you can see, I think you can see here, my hands meet together like thumbs together in the middle, and then I'm just going to slide my fingers across the side of the baby all the way to the end, and I've got my hands underneath the baby, and I'm just sliding my fingers across, just across the side of the abdomen there. There you go. And then you can also play the piano. So the piano is whatever kind of hand is comfortable, and you're coming across, and it's like you're playing the piano. You're going in about an inch, and you're working your way across the baby's tummy. And sometimes you can feel bubbles, little bubbles. So these are really good to do if you have a baby that's fussy, more to do with the end of the day, if they're really, really uncomfortable, or maybe they're having a little constipated. And so that can help just help with air bubbles inside the tummy. And then
Melanie, one person just wants to know if any of these would be really helpful for reflux.
Not so much. So reflux is when the baby's tummy is pushing up underneath the diaphragm. And so there's a sphincter at the top of the tummy that doesn't sometimes close very much. And so if the baby has reflux, you're having more spit up that looks like cottage cheese. That would be taking your baby to someone like me, like a chiropractor that can come in and just gently pull the stomach down and work the sphincter at the top. We do have a lot of babies come in with that sort of condition. So this is more for fussy babies, gassy babies, not necessarily reflux. And if your baby is really puking, you might not want to do the piano one, just because there's pressure and you might find the baby might puke a little more. So you might have to modify your strokes for that one. The next one is actually the nicest one, and it's the hardest to explain, and it's called the sun and moon. And so the one thing that to always keep in mind is we always want to push the poop in the right direction. And so the right direction is clockwise. And so Eric and I've been practicing because it's opposite to me. So if I look a little hesitant, it's just because it's totally opposite from my point of view. So clockwise is the direction that you always want to push the poop. So you're pushing around the baby's belly button clockwise. You don't want to come up into the ribs. You want to stay below, so you're coming around the belly button, okay? So the sun and the moon is a two-hand stroke that you do, which is really nice. Your left hand is the sun, okay, left. So your hand is always on the baby's tummy, and it's always going in a circle like the sun. Now this is the backwards part for me. So the moon is the right hand, and it goes from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock. 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock. So the hand comes around, and when it's down to, circle clockwise. When it comes down to 5, the other one, see, this is awkward to me. This is the movement. Now, does that look clockwise to you, Eric? But it will be opposite to you.
The left hand is going counterclockwise.
So this is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you can see that the one hand comes around the other, and I think that's the best that I can do to show you, but your left hand will always be on the tummy, and the right hand will skip over top of the left. Now, if you're finding it very difficult, just use the one hand and just go clockwise. That's clockwise. Anyways, clockwise is the way to go. And if you can remember that, that was just a nice way. Now, if you're starting, the baby starts to get fussy, say at 5, you can start doing the abdominal strokes around 4:30 to see if you can get things moving a little bit to maybe take the pressure off the baby so that they're not so fussy for you. Okay, so that's the abdomen. So now we're going to do the chest. So the chest is the rib cage up. And there's just a couple of strokes there. This one's hard to show on the baby because of the way, maybe I can do it this way. So it's, again, the one with the thumb in the middle, and you're coming across the baby's chest, kind of underneath the armpits there. So you're just, it's a little awkward with the arms really, but you're just stroking across the chest. Here, let's see if I can do it this way, like that. Of course, you wouldn't hold your baby up like that, but you can see my thumbs a little bit better. And then the other one that's really nice is called the butterfly. So the butterfly, you have your hand and you slide up and you squeeze the baby's shoulder, and then you slide up and you squeeze the opposite shoulder. So you're going across the baby. This one is really great. There's thought that children with ADHD don't actually cross their midline. So that if you were to ask an ADHD kid to go across and touch their knee, they would actually do side to side. So this whole crossing the midline is really great for brain development. And the biggest movement that we have to cross the midline is crawling. And crawling is the most important movement that babies do in brain development. So if your baby is not crawling properly, that's a really good thing to bring them to someone, a chiropractor who does work with babies, because sometimes the sacrum can be off, the knees, the feet, and we really want a normal crawling motion for brain development. So that is just a nice movement that goes across the body, which helps with that cross-patterning motion. And then we also have some in the movement section that will be coming up here. So with the arms, I was trying to think, this is probably easier. The strokes are actually the same for the arms mostly than it is for the leg, but there is one that is different. And so if I can, we have a lot of lymph nodes in our armpits. And so if you come down the inner part of the arm and down the side, you're actually helping the lymph in the lymph nodes to flow a little better. So you just have the baby's arm up and then just coming down the armpit, down the side of the body. And just know that some babies are very ticklish. So again, slow and deep is the solution for that. And that will help with flow of the lymph around the armpits there. So just with our massage oil again, massage oil on the arm. Now, at this point, for all of you at home, you might find that your baby's had too much. So if they're starting to fuss, just don't keep going on with the strokes. Just sit and watch them. And then as your baby can handle more, they can do more. But if you're finding that this is enough, then it's time to stop. You just don't want to push your baby into being upset with this. So you're going to hold the baby's arm and you're going to slide up just like we did before. And the other hand, and the other hand, and you're squeezing as well. The baby's arm is a little small for my hand here, but you're squeezing as you come up. Good. And then the arm twist again, we're going back and forth. So again, this is a really weird position because I would have the baby, well, no, let's do it this way. So you'd be looking at the baby's head, baby's face, and you'd be looking in their eyes as you're doing the massage. But I'm looking at you. So just, you're going to be focusing on your baby. So we're going back and forth and back and forth. And then you play with each finger, just like you played with each toe, and massage and get into little fingers. My baby doesn't have open fingers, so I can't really show that one so much. And then wrist circles around the wrists. Again, this is really great for crawling babies. And then, yeah, sorry, I'm rushing and I shouldn't be. So we're doing wrist circles. And then when you're ready, we're just going to go slide down the arm. So I absolutely went too fast with the arm strokes, but you get the idea. You stay with them as you want to, as the babies are happy. And then if they've had enough, you stop. And if they're liking it, then you keep going. So you do the one arm and then you do the other arm. So in the interest of keeping the massage a little bit, I think, flowing a little bit better, we'll move on from the arms because we already spent a lot of time on the legs, and the strokes are very much the same. But you can lengthen these as much as you like and slow them down and be present with the baby. So now the face, this one's a little bit harder to show, but I think I can manage. So the strokes for the body are firm. The strokes for the face are light, feather light. Just what the pressure you'd put on your own eyeball without putting too much pressure there, because of course the skin is more fine and the baby's face is more sensitive. So so this is the hard part to show, because of course I can't turn my baby upside down. It's easier for me to show on my own face for you to see them, but just know that you would be putting your hands on the baby's face. And if you have a younger baby, they might not like you to cover their eyes. So you would want to angle your hands so that they can still see your face. But with older babies, you can play peekaboo and make it be a game. So it's up to you and your baby how you would like to do that. So across the forehead, just with your thumb going straight down, but my hands don't work that way. So it would just be feather light across the forehead. Nice and easy across the eyebrows there, and you can come up a little farther forward. And then across the cheeks. So it's just fingers on the inside of the nose and just across the cheekbones. Now this is a really nice one if the baby is congested. The maxillary sinus sits right here, and it's the one that gets really congested when you have your nose is all plugged up. So this one is really nice, and just again, feather light. Now the smile is just above the lip and up, kind of like into a smile. And then on the bottom of the mouth and up. So if your baby is a breastfed baby, breastfeeding babies work really hard to bring the milk down. Their little cheeks become really thick. And one day when you have a clean hand, just feel how thick your baby's cheek can be. And it actually can be an inch or more, just because that is the part where they're clenching down to breastfeed. So their little mouths become really tired. It's a worked muscle. So you can up above and below the mouth. And then just, yes, the jaw circles. So just circling nice and easy with your fingers around the jaw. And this is really nice for breastfeeding babies. Bottle-fed babies, of course, have those concerns as well, but they don't have to work as hard. The milk pulls into their mouth a little easier. They don't have to clench their jaw so much. So especially if you have a breastfeeding baby, to get it around the cheeks and the jaw is really nice. Now, around the ear, we do have a lot of lymph nodes that go around the ear and down the neck. And so those can become inflamed when we're sick, and it's really nice to do a massage through that. So again, feather light touch. Let's see if I can do this here for you. So you start with your hand in front of the ear, and then you bring your hand around the ear and down the neck. So again, this is feather light. So this is really nice when you don't feel well yourself. You can do it yourself, just in front of the ears and around and down the neck, just like this. And so with the baby, it's around the ear and down the neck, around the ear, around the ear and down the neck, around the ear and down the neck. Now, if you have an older one, or your partner is not feeling very well, you can put them in front of you, like sit in front of, like on a kitchen chair if they're an adult or something like that. And you can go around the ear and down the neck. Of course, you wouldn't do this on a newborn because they can't hold their head up. This is the only thing that I have to demonstrate on. But anyone who's having, puffy head and not hearing well, this is a really nice way to get the lymph going around their head and to drain. And that one's really nice as well. So with the back, if you're sitting on the floor, and this I can't demonstrate, but what you can do is cross your legs in front of you and put the baby on top of your nice, well, let's see if I can manage this. Cross your legs and put the baby laying across your legs so that they're supported a little bit better. You can also put the baby face down, but a lot of newborns don't like to be face down. You can also put them right across your knees, which you can't see, but right across your knees and do the back strokes that way. So you have to modify the back as best you can to what your baby can handle. But just with flat palms and with massage oil, again, you're just gonna rock your hands back and forth all the way down to the bum. And then back up again, nice and slow. And you don't want to arch your baby's back. That's not so great for them. So you really want it to be nicely supported. And then down the back, so just your hands again coming in and stroking up towards the shoulder blades. And again, this one you have to be careful not to arch the baby's back too much. So just nice and gently up towards the shoulder blades. And then, especially if you have a baby that's learning how to crawl, their little butt muscles can be a little bit tight. So you're just going to use your finger, come around this way, to go around the butt cheek. on both sides. So just coming around both. So that's the back and the butt. And now the movements at the end, you're going to put the baby back facing you. And then the arms go nice and wide and you cross in front. And then the arms go wide again. And then you cross with the alternate arm on top. So you're alternating which arm goes on top every time you come up. And then you can play games like so big, that sort of thing. And then actually this way too. So one of the things that babies can have when they come to see us is we call them Superman babies. They hold their shoulders back and they don't look down. Those are babies that have difficulties with their shoulder blades. And so one of the exercises to bring the arms forward and up help to get those shoulder blades moving better. So that's one thing that you can add in on a diaper change too, if you have a little bit of a Superman baby, just to keep getting those shoulder blades. So, and you can alternate it. So you go back and forth and then up and down and back and forth and back and forth and up and down and up and down. So as long as this is a game for the baby, you stay there. If they're starting to really not like this, then you just don't do it. But if you can add these movements in with diaper changes, it doesn't have to be the infant massage session, but once they're used to it, they'll love it as well. Now, you can actually do the same with the legs. Legs wide and cross in front and wide and cross in front. Babies are very flexible. Of course, you won't push them past what they can do very normally, but the legs can actually go over top of each other, and that really helps. And then you can also bring knees to the chest and hold. Now, of course, the legs on my doll don't bend, but you would bend the knees and bring them up so that they would press into the lower abdomen. And sometimes if there's any air to be let go, the babies will have a nice big toot and feel a little better. So those are the strokes and the massage movements. This takes a while to get down as a family. So it will take you about, I would say, 2 weeks before the baby will stay for you for the whole massage. So the tricks are to do it the same time of day, to keep going. And the more you practice, the more the babies will go, oh, I get this. I like this. And then they'll really start to really anticipate it. And that's when the magic happens. The magic is when the baby is looking at you straight in the face and talking to you, and you're talking to your baby. And it's really, really nice. So what's going to happen is this is going to become actually the nicest part of your day. And then people in your life are going to want to do it too. So when you're really good at it or not, when you're ready and someone wants to learn, you just let them see the strokes first and then let them try. And if your baby is really used to being massaged, then they'll handle a second massage from a grandmother or a partner. But just know that it takes them a while to get the feel. And you wouldn't be having each person massage one leg. It's too much for the babies. So you would find an alternate that you could use to show the strokes on, or you could show them this video if you like, and then let that person learn how to do the massage too. When my mother would come and visit, she would beg. And of course, we would let her massage the babies. And she loved it. And every single chance she could, if it was bath time, she would just love to do a massage with the baby. So another nice trick for moms and mother-in-laws, and that especially if you're a breastfeeding mom, because they're just, the grandmas are just so wanting to hold the babies, is to strip the baby down to the diaper and have your mother-in-law wear a blouse that will button and put skin on skin and put a blanket on top, and let your mom-in-law or your mom just sit and rock the baby skin to skin. And that's a really nice bonding thing for grandmas and for the babies. And it gives them what they're really craving, which is the closeness. And it takes the whole pressure off of feeding the baby off the table, especially if you're a breastfeeding mom.
Melanie, one person has just asked if it's too late if they started, since their baby is already 1 year old. And are there any other?
Yes, and thank you for that. I forgot to mention that. So there's a stage in development when the babies don't stay for you very well. So it's usually when they're crawling to walking. And this is when babies are like scientists and the outer world is way too exciting. So it becomes a little bit of a challenge to massage your baby. And if you're starting in that stage, it can feel a little bit like you're being rejected because the baby just doesn't really want to necessarily slow down and let you massage them. So just know that 1-year-olds and a little bit older babies, you can absolutely massage them during that 6-month to 1 year phase. If you add it into a routine around a bath time, they'll usually stay with you a little longer, or add it into like just before nap time. And then as the babies are bigger, the strokes are just bigger because the legs are bigger. But the strokes are actually the same. You can actually use these strokes on older children too. So if you have a toddler who really needs a little bit more attention because this new baby has kind of rocked the toddler's world, you can massage the baby, and then you can put the toddler right beside the baby and do the strokes on the toddler and kind of go back and forth, or do one at a time. And then the older baby, the toddler can be included as well. So with the 1-year-olds, you might have to get a little bit creative. So the 1-year-old would be sitting on your lap, and you could do the strokes this way sitting, so that they're looking out at the world, and you might only get the arms and the legs done. You wouldn't do like abdomen and chest if they're sitting. You could do the face, and you could make it be a game. It doesn't have to be totally soothing. It could be a little game and you're singing as you're going along. You kind of have to play to your audience a little bit. The 1-year-olds would probably lay for you a little bit better than a 9-month-old, but even a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old, you can certainly do that as well. I think we're at the end. Sometimes the course is a little bit, just remember that we're showing you a little faster than what reality actually is. And once you get your stroke pace, it's a little slower. It's a little bit more gentle in the moving from one stroke to another. If you find you're happy, stay there. If you're not happy, move on. There's certainly no rules for that. Does anybody have any questions? Maybe yes, maybe no. We will have this recording on our website on blessingways.ca. It's actually on the bottom of the stroke sheet, and on the library website as well. So if you find that you need a refresher, you can certainly go back and look at whatever the stroke was. And then the hope is that, especially here, we have a lot of pregnant moms who have babies, that they'll be able to watch the infant massage video whenever they're ready for it, instead of waiting for us to come to the library every 2 months, which is what we were doing before. So that makes it nice at 9:30 at night. If you feel like you want to do massage, you can do the strokes and have watch the video as well. So that's really nice for all of us.